Hey people, it's me, Anja. My pronouns are she and her, and welcome back to a new original book tag. So, I mentioned in the Alice Oseman book tag that Loveless broke me. So, I decided to create a new original book tag surrounding Loveless. So, as per usual, before we get into these questions, please remember to donate to Palestine and stay educated and stay informed. So, yeah, we love to see it. So, the first question is, Georgia, name your most relatable character. So, probably one of my most relatable characters is definitely Cody from Late to the Party. I read this book last year and it was one of my favorites from last year because it was so good. It's a YA contemporary that follows a young teenager who's 17 and she's never done any of the typical teenager things, which same. I've never been kissed, I've never been to a party, I've never done any of those like coming of age teenage things that you're expected to do by a certain age. And I really liked that this book talked about how the main character felt like she was such a late bloomer, because I feel like there's nothing wrong with being a late bloomer. You know what I mean? Like, your teenage years can be whatever you want them to be. They don't have to be some typical expectation coming of age film or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, they can be whatever you want them to be. It's totally okay if you haven't had your first kiss by the time that you're 12 or 14 or 16 or whatever. I'm almost 21 and I haven't been kissed yet. And I don't really, like, want to be kissed, you know what I mean? Like, I don't really care that I haven't had my first kiss yet because it's literally not that important to me, you know? So anyway, the point is, this book was so good. I really, really enjoyed it, and I think it's so important, and it's so timely, and it was so well done. And also, the main character is sapphic, so we love to see it. The sapphic romance was so well developed. So, yeah. Anyway, next question is Pip and Rooney. I don't know their ship name. I think it might be Pruny, but I don't know. Anyway, the question is, name your favorite rivals to lovers sapphic couple. I don't know if this counts, but I wanted to talk about this book. So my answer is Some Girls Do by Jennifer Dugan. I love this book so much. I thought it was so excellent. It's a YA contemporary that follows two characters. One of them is an out lesbian who's a track star, and the other one is a closeted bisexual who has a penchant for fixing up old cars, and she's also a teen pageant queen, I think. I've talked about this book so many times recently, so that's why I know that synopsis off the top of my head, even though I said recently in the Alice Oseman book tag that I'm not very good at remembering synopses of books for book tags. So anyway, Some Girls Do is literally so good. I think it's so awesome. It talks about the dichotomy of being out and also being closeted, because like I mentioned, one of the characters is already out and the other one is closeted. So I really liked how it talked about that, because I think that that's really important since so many queer people are closeted. And by the way, you are valid as a queer person regardless of whether or not you are out or not. So anyway, this book is so good and I highly recommend it. So yeah. The next question is, Jason, name your favorite golden retriever character. So one of my favorites is Keith from the Keeper of the Lost Cities book series. I love this book series literally so much, and I'm so excited for the 9th book in this book series. I think it comes out next year, if I'm not mistaken. It's so good. It's a middle grade fantasy series that follows a great, actually, I was about to say it follows a great cast of characters, but it really doesn't, because it's only in Sophie's perspective. But there is a great cast of characters in it. You just don't hear from their perspectives. The point is, this series is so good, and it deserves so much more hype, and Keith is absolutely one of my favorite characters next to Sophie, and I love him. So, yeah. The next question is Pip. Name your favorite canon lesbian main character. So, I've read a great deal of books with canon lesbian main characters. I should make an entire video about that for October, which, if you didn't know, is LGBT History Month. So, anyway, my answer is A Lesson in Vengeance, because I read this book recently. It's a YA dark academia thriller, and it's sapphic, and it's so good. And the main character is a lesbian. We love to see it. So this book is absolutely worth all the hype and so much more, and it's so good. I had low expectations for this book because A, I wasn't expecting it to live up to its hype, and 2, like, this author wrote The Feeble King previously, and I recently DNF'd that book. No, not recently. I DNF'd that book, so I had really low expectations for this one, but this book absolutely lived up to its hype, and it's so good, so I highly recommend it. So, yeah. The next question is Rooney. Name your favorite canon main pansexual character. So I don't have an answer to this one, and I only included this question because I need recommendations. I read a few books with pansexual main characters before, but they weren't really good. So recommend me your favorite really good characters who are pansexual in a book. So, yeah. I don't know if that made any sense, but I'm not the most eloquent when I'm filming book tags. So, yeah. Anyway, the next question is Sunil. Name your favorite canon non-binary main character who uses multiple pronouns. So, I will say that my favorite canon main character who is non-binary and uses multiple pronouns is the protagonist from The Ghost We Keep, which is a YA contemporary following an amazing character, and I love this book so much. I think it's superior to I Wish You All the Best, which was Mason Deaver's debut book, and I'm so excited for the next book, which comes out next year, and I think it's called The Feeling of Falling in Love. I'm not completely sure, but anyway, The Ghost We Keep is so good. I don't remember the synopsis of this book, even though I read it a few months ago, but I do remember that it's excellent and it's amazing, and it has great representation, and it's awesome, and I highly recommend it, and like I said, I preferred it to I Wish You All the Best. So, yeah. The last and final question is Ace. Name your favorite Ace main character. So, I made a video about my favorite Ace books last year, I believe, and I'm slowly but surely accumulating a part 2, because frankly, other than Loveless, I haven't read a whole lot of books with Ace main characters that are really good recently. Like, I read a couple. Like, I read This Golden Flame earlier this year, which the main character is Ace, but that book wasn't really that good. So, that's why I don't recommend it. So, anyway, my personal favorite book with an Ace main character is Summerbird Blue. This book has questioning Ace representation instead of like more established Ace representation, which I think is equally as important. So anyway, this book is so good. I already talked about in a previous book tag how much I love Akemi Bowman, but this book really solidified her as one of my favorite authors because this book is so good. It is so awesome. It is so brilliant. It's so exquisite and beautiful and so wonderful, and it deserves all its hype and so much more. So with that, I would highly recommend it. So yeah, that's the end of the Loveless book tag, inspired by Alice Oseman's book Loveless. If you enjoy this video, consider yourself tagged. And like I said before, stay educated and stay informed and donate to Palestine. So if you enjoyed this video, please don't hesitate to give it a big thumbs up. Comment down below the panda emoji if you made it all the way to the end of the video. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to my channel if you're new, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.